This conference will now be recorded.
I've shared my screen, you can see, right?
Yes,
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Okay, fine. Yeah. Well, in the last class, we discussed about dynamic lookup, right? So, what is the difference between static and dynamic lookup means? Static lookup it will create a static cache at the beginning of the execution, and after loading the data into the target table at the end of the execution, static cache will be deleted. Same way, dynamic cache also will be created at the beginning of the execution, and then it will delete at the end of the execution. End means after loading the data into the target table. But the major difference between static and dynamic is during the execution, static cache will not get updated. Okay. Once it is created till end of the execution, it remains same. Whereas the dynamic cache, as soon as any new record inserted or updated in the lookup table, immediately that new record also will get inserted or updated inside the dynamic cache. So that's the major difference between static and dynamic cache. Next, in today's class, we will discuss about types of lookups. Okay, so we have two types of lookups: connected lookup and unconnected lookup. We have two types of lookups. One is connected lookup, the other one is unconnected lookup. What is meant by connected and unconnected lookup? So if the lookup transformation, this is a lookup transformation, right? Whether it is a static or dynamic. If the lookup transformation is connected from any other transformation, like it can be source qualifier or expression, any other transformation. If it is connected from any other transformation, and also through the link, if it is connected to any other transformation, then that is called connected lookup. So if you see, if there is a link like this, if it is a single link or multiple links also, okay, so if it is connected through the links, or if it is connected from lookup transformation to any other transformation through the link, then that is called connected lookup. Okay. Unconnected lookup means, so suppose let's say now there are no links. Now tell me, is this lookup transformation connected from any other transformation, or is it connected to any other transformation? No, there are no links here. There is no link from source qualifier to the lookup, and also from lookup transformation to any other transformation we do not have any link. Such type of lookup transformation, we call it as a unconnected lookup transformation. Got it? So unconnected lookup transformation means it should not be connected with any other transformation, then that is called unconnected lookup transformation. So lookup transformation we can create either connected or unconnected. Okay, but other transformations like expression, filter, router, right? Whatever transformation previous to this lookup transformation, can we create those transformations are unconnected? No, right? We have never created the other transformations as unconnected. All the transformations whatever we have discussed till now, like expression, filter, router, joiner and normalizer, all these transformations we cannot create as unconnected. We should have to create those transformations as connected. Okay, but here connected lookup transformation, we do have option to create a lookup transformation as connected and as unconnected also. Okay, so if it is connected through the link, it will pass the input value to the unconnected lookup transformation, right? As soon as we drag and drop the joining column to the lookup transformation, through that link it will pass the input value to the lookup transformation. Okay, and also whatever the output values lookup transformation is returning, in the previous scenario we have written employee number and address from the lookup transformation, right? Okay, so in such scenario that it has written the you can see here in the previous scenario, right? Here it is returning employee number and address. Okay, so this lookup whatever we have created in this mapping, this is called connected lookup because it is connected from source qualifier through this link. Employee number is connected, and also it is sending the output values from lookup transformation to the expression transformation through the link. So that is the reason we call this as a connected lookup transformation. If there is no link, suppose let's say if there is no link, how it will pass this employee number 10 to the lookup, right? And also if there are no links from lookup transformation to expression transformation, how it will return this employee number and address from lookup to the expression transformation, right? So those things we'll see practically now. So first here, so we have a price table, rate table, and target table. So we have total 3 tables are there. So what we have to do, we have to join price with the rate table, and whatever the data we get, we have to load in this target table. That is the requirement. Okay, so we have price table, rate table, and then target table. We have total 3 tables to load the data in the target. Okay, so here first we will create a mapping by using the connected lookup, and then the same mapping will create by using unconnected lookup transformation. Okay, so first to load the data in this target table, first we'll create tables like this. I've already created. Select star from price. So we'll have a price. So in this table, 3 columns. List ID. Here we have the numeric column values, and then CCD. CCD means currency code. Okay, so we have dollar and rupees, right? This is CCD. While creating the table for the CCD, you have to give the data type as varchar2 because this is a character. So here we have the characters. Okay, and then quantity. So how many dollars we have? 50. How many rupees we have? 100. So like that, this is one source table, price table. Okay, and then we have a table called rate. Okay, so price and rate table we have here. A rate table, dollar rate is 50 and rupees rate is 1. Okay, okay, so these are the rate for the dollar, and assume this is the rate for the rupee, like that we have. And then we have another table, target table, price, rate, target, ART. So price, rate, target. So here in this target table, you can see PID, CCD, quantity, rate, and we also have the total amount. Total amount column is a total target table you have to create with 5 columns. Okay, PID number data type, CCD varchar2 data type, quantity again it contains the number, so number data type, rate also it contains the number. Okay, number data type, total amount also number data type. Only CCD column should be varchar2 data type, like that you can create a table with these 5 columns. Okay, so after that, if you see here, PID, CCD, quantity. So these 3 columns, PID, CCD, quantity, will get from the source, this price table, right? And then a rate table will have in a rate table, and then total amount we have to calculate. So to calculate the total amount, we have to write quantity into rate. So quantity we have in a price table, and rate we have in rate table, right? After joining these 2 tables only, we will get the output like this. Okay, so after joining these 2 tables only, we can load the data into the target table. Now, since here we are talking about the join, assume we have decided to create a lookup transformation to join the tables. Okay, now tell me, here we have 3 tables, okay, price, rate, and target. Okay, so out of these 3 tables, on which table we have to create a lookup transformation to join the tables? So I have to join price and rate table. After joining price and rate table, whatever the result we will be getting, that result we should have to load into the target table. Okay, so since here we are talking about the join, let's say we have decided to create a lookup transformation to join the tables. Okay, so in that scenario, how to in that scenario how to on which table we have to create a lookup transformation?
On the rate table, because the rate table is contains the less number of rows, so we have to select.
Okay, so how about target table? Target table contains 0 records, right? So target table contains 0 records. In the last scenario, we created the lookup on the target table because target table contains 0 records. So why
Okay.
not target table? Any answer? Why not target table? So what is our lookup table here? So you can see here, by seeing you can tell what is our lookup table, on which table we have to create a lookup transformation. So here target table contains 0 records, right? So I told like we should have to create a lookup on less number of those, right? No idea?
Yes, sir. Target table only.
Any other answer? Please unmute and give the answer if you know anything other. So here there are total 3 tables: price, rate, and target. I have to join price and rate table to load the data into the target. Can we join price and target here to get the data into the target? Can we join price and target table without using rate?
No, sir.
No. Why?
Because in the target table we have a that means quantity into rate, so we have to get the rate value from the rate type rate table.
Exactly, right? Since here in the target table we have rate, if you don't consider this table to join, if you join only these 2 tables, then you will get PID, CCD, quantity from price table. How about rate? From where you will get the rate? We don't have the rate in the price table. Okay, so we will not get rate here, and here also we cannot calculate the total amount. In the same way, can we join without using the price table? Can we join rate and target table to get the data into the target table? Without using price, can we join only rate and target table to get the data into the target?
No, sir.
No, because here PID we have, but in the rate we do not have PID. Then from where we will get that PID? We don't have. That is the reason we cannot join rate and target table also. Okay, so then to get the data in the target table, if you join these 2 tables, price and rate, then we will get the expected output, because PID, CCD, quantity we have in price table, and then rate we have in a rate table, and by using a quantity into rate we can also calculate the total amount and then load the data into the target. Now out of these 3 tables, which are the joining tables here?
Price and rate.
Out of the price and rate are the joining tables. Okay, so price and rate are the joining tables, right? So which are the tables we are using for the join? You have to tell 5 times. Which are the tables we are using to join here?
Rate table.
Price and rate table, right? Those 2 are the joining tables. Okay, you have to tell 5 times because you have forgot the last class, whatever I have explained. That's the reason I'm asking you to repeat 5 times. Joining tables. So if you see last to last class scenario lookup transformation we have started. Okay, so you read the whatever here I have highlighted the first point. Can you read the first point here? You are not reading. What is this? Can you read?
Before creating the lookup transformation, we have to decide or we have to select lookup table from the joining tables. So that lookup table is
Lookup tables.
from the joining tables.
Yeah. So lookup table from joining tables, right? In this scenario, we have joined source and target table. These two are the joining tables, right? So joining tables. So we should not forget joining tables. So lookup table from joining tables, right? So in this scenario, what are the joining tables?
Price and rate.
The price and rate are the joining tables. So that means your lookup table should be from which tables? Either price or rate table, not the target table, right?
Yes.
Okay, even though target table contains 0 records, our lookup table, we should not create a lookup on the target here. Why we should not create a lookup on the target even though even though it contains 0 records?
Because we have to select the lookup table from the joining tables.
Exactly. That point you should never forget. Okay, always we have to, if we have decided to create a lookup transformation, first we have to decide the lookup table. How do we decide which is the lookup table? Lookup table should be from joining tables. So you should know what are the joining tables, which tables we are joining here. So target table we are not using for the join in this scenario. We are joining here only price and rate table. So that means these two are the joining tables. So that means in these two tables, one of the tables should be a lookup table. So like that, you have to decide the lookup table before you create a lookup transformation. Not always target table as a lookup table, not always the table which is having the 0 records. No. So lookup table, even though if you have 10 tables, only two tables you will be joining at a time. So from those two tables, you have to decide the lookup table. Now here price and rate table are the lookup tables. Okay, now you got it right. Why we should not consider the target as a lookup table here in this scenario? Got it? No?
Yes, sir.
Sir, repeat again.
Okay. So now what we'll do? So in these two tables, we have to set the lookup table. Now from these two tables, which table we have to consider as a lookup table? Price or rate? If you consider rate, why rate? Why not price? Tell me why rate? Why not price?
To improve the transformation, we have to select the table which contains the less number of rows.
Yes, correct. Less number of rows. But these two tables contain how many number of rows?
Both are contains the 2 rows. Sir.
Yes, exactly. Both are contains the same two rows. In this scenario, which one we have to consider? If both the tables are having the same rows? Which will take less time to create a cache. If we create a lookup transformation on which table, it will create a less time and less space to create a cache. Price or rate?
Rate table. Sir.
Why rate? Why not price?
It contains the less number of columns. It will take the less space and it will take the less time.
Yeah, exactly. So if the row count is same, then you have to go to the column count. So price contains how many columns? 3 columns, whereas rate contains only 2 columns.
2.
So which will take less time and less space to create a cache? Rate. That's the reason we have to select rate as our lookup table here. Okay, got it right? Fine. Now we'll start creating them. Now we know what is the source and what is the lookup, on which table we have to create a lookup transformation, and then what is our target table. Like that, you have to decide before you start creating the mapping. Okay, now we'll start creating the mapping. So first price, we'll import the source definition, sources, import from database. This is also 100% interview question. Difference between connected and non-connected lookup. without this question there is no interview. Okay, so if they didn't ask this question in interview, then that interview is not related to Informatica. Okay, so you should have to note down an 100% interview question. Difference between connected and unconnected lookup. So Informatica is a small tool. Here we have very limited interview questions. In every interview, commonly asked interview questions. Okay, so this is also we have imported the price and we have imported the this one target. So how about rate? Where do we have to import the rate? So do we have to import the rate in source or a target? Any guess? So this is our lookup table. Okay, so where do we have to import in a we have to import that rate? Do we have to import in source or a target? Means it is not necessary to import anywhere. Okay, so if we are not going to import, then what we are going to, how we are going to take a lookup on rate, that we will see here. Okay, so PR price rate connected lookup. So here we are going to create connected lookup source to target. Okay, so this is the mapping name, and then open the sources folder, and then price we have to select the source definition, drag and drop, and then open the targets folder, PRT price and rate target. So after that we have to join price and the rate. So we know the rate is a lookup table, so for that we have to create a lookup transformation on the rate. Go to the menu transformation, create, and from this we lookup transformation, okay, or LKP. So lookup transformation name, rate lookup I have given or LKP, and then create. So as soon as we click on create, you can see select the lookup table for the lookup transformation. So have we imported that lookup in the target? So here it is showing all the target definitions, because by default the target folder is target tab is highlighted here. So that's the reason it is selecting the target. Okay, so how about so have we imported that in a source? No, we have not imported that rate in a either source or a target, right? We have not imported either source or in a target. Okay, and then if you have not imported either in a source or a target, so what we have to do, we have to go to the menu here, import, and from relational table. So we have to select this option, directly import here, import from relational table, and here we have to give rate. If it is not there in a source and a target, then we have to select import from relational table. So like that we have to select and okay. So with this the lookup transformation has created. So this is the lookup transformation which we have created on the rate. So rate contains CCD, which is currency code, and the rate. These two columns we have. That's the reason we have got. So after creating the lookup transformation, next step we know we have to select the joining code. So here CCD is the common column between source and the rate. So we have to drag and drop the joining column like this. After drag and dropping the joining column, next we have to add the join condition, edit, go to the condition tab. So here we have to click on this button so that the joining condition will be added. CCD is equal to CCD1, apply, okay. And to do the calculation, we have to create an expression transformation, right? So we have to calculate the total amount. So for that, in our mapping, we have to create expression, exp create done. So expression transformation has created. So after creating the expression transformation, so from lookup we need rate to calculate the total amount, right? So we are passing the CCD and we are getting the corresponding rate from the lookup. So drag and drop the rate port from lookup transformation to the expression transformation, and from source we can select all, directly drag and drop to this expression transformation. Now you can see in expression we have got rate and quantity. So here can we calculate the total amount? So to calculate the total amount, what do we have to do? we have to create a new port, total amount underscore O output port. So this is not a string, this is a double. So for the numbers, we have to give the data type as a double, and to write a to do calculation, we have to disable the input port. Here we have to write rate into quantity. So if you click on this down arrow, we will get another editor. Okay, and then go to the ports tab. So rate, double click into quantity. See, we have both the ports in expression transformation to calculate the total amount. So like that, we have to write rate into quantity. So validate, then click on OK, apply. Okay, see. So rate and rate we will get from the lookup, quantity we will get from the source, and here we are doing the multiplication to get the total amount. Okay, and then apply. Okay, that's it. So from here we can select these three price CCD quantity, and we can connect it to this target, and then rate we have to select, rate we have to connect it to this rate. Got it? And then from total amount we have to connect it to the total amount. That's it. So with this, we have created the mapping. In this mapping, we have created the lookup transformation, which is connected lookup transformation. And you can see we have the link here between source qualifier and lookup transformation. And also we have a link between lookup to the expression transformation. That is the reason we are calling this as a connected lookup transformation. Which type of lookup is this? Connected lookup, because it is connected from source qualifier and it is connected to the expression transformation. Got it? So this is how we have to create a mapping to join the tables by using the lookup transformation, and this lookup is connected lookup transformation, and then save. Okay, done. With this we have done with the mapping. Next, for this mapping we will create session workflow, and then we'll execute and see. Small s underscore mapping name, create, and then from this list we have to select the mapping. This is the mapping, connected lookup, done. And then workflow designer, go to the menu workflows, create wf underscore mapping name, and then we have to drag and drop the session task. So with this we have done the mapping session workflow, everything, and it is ready to execute. So before you start execute, as I told you earlier, so if you have used a lookup transformation in the mapping, okay, go to edit, and here you have to go to the mapping tab. Under mapping tab you have to select the connections. Okay, so here the way how we have the connection, so for this we will have we have created the connection as training underscore dev, right, and this is also training underscore dev. So this is, these two are this is a target database connection, and this is source database connection. In the same way, you should not forget to give the lookup database connection. So here also by default for your previous class mapping, static lookup, dynamic lookup, you might have got here $target, right? So you have to click on this down arrow, you have to select the use object and select training underscore dev. So like that, so you have to give the connection for the lookup also. Okay, I repeat, if there is a lookup transformation is used in the mapping, then definitely we have to come to the connections here, and we have to set the database connection for the lookup also. Whatever the connections we have used for the source and target, the same connections we can use here for the lookup transformation also, because our lookup table we have under same schema. Okay, if it is different database, different schema, we have to create a separate connection. But since we have in a same database, we'll be using the same connection for the lookup. So if you don't give like this, then it will fail the execution. Apply, okay, save. So lookup connection is important if there is a lookup transformation in the map. Now right click start workflow. As soon as you can start workflow, first lookup transformation will create a static cache. Now tell me, in this mapping, lookup transformation will static cache with how many records? Any idea, since we are executing first time? So we know at the beginning of the execution, lookup transformation will create a static cache. Can you tell me static cache will be created with how many records?
Two records.
Two records. Two records, right? Why two records? Why not 0 records?
Because static cache is a copy of lookup table.
Static cache is a copy of a
Lookup table.
exactly, right? One second, hold on. Yeah. So here, okay. So why? I mean, like, so at the beginning of the execution, static cache will be created. Here, the lookup transformation which we have created on the lookup table, which is a rate, right? So on this table, we have created the lookup transformation. So as I mentioned in the last class, static cache is a copy of a lookup table. Okay. In the previous scenarios, we created the lookup transformation on the target table. For the first time, target table contains 0 records. That's the reason static cache also got created with 0 records. But here in this scenario, we created the lookup transformation on the rate. So rate contains how many records? 2 records. That's the reason static cache also will be created with the 2 records. Got it? So even though if you execute for the first time, so whenever you execute, static cache is a copy of a lookup table. While creating the static cache, whatever the number of records are there in the lookup table, with those records, the static cache will be created. Since the lookup table contains 2 records, with those 2 records, the static cache will be created. Got it? Okay, fine. So now what it will do? So as soon as we start execute, static cache will be created with 2 records. From the source, it will read the first record $1.50. First dollar it will pass to the lookup transformation. As soon as lookup receives the dollar, it will start looking for the matching value inside the static cache. Right? It will start looking for the matching value inside the static cache. And what is the matching value corresponding column value rate? 50. So here it will get the 50 here, right? So it will return the 50. That 50 it will pass to the expression transformation as a rate. Okay, and then so here we have the total amount. Rate we will get from the lookup, which is 50 into quantity we will get for the first record 50. 50 into 50, 2500. So like that for the first record it will be loaded into the target. So through the link it will pass value dollar, and through the link it will return the return value. Okay, so since we have executed here, the execution got succeeded. Always right click, get run properties. If there is any failure also, you can see failure information here. So for every run you should have to select and get run properties, then only you will come to know why that has failed. Without knowing the get run properties, you don't know why that has failed. Okay, simply by seeing the status failed, you don't know why that has failed. So you have to right click on the session task, get run properties, and see the failure in message, then only you will come to know why that has failed. Okay, fine. Next, So now it got succeeded. Here we can see the output of this execution by using the connected lookup. So you can see we have got all the records. These three from the price table, and this is from rate table, and quantity into rate 15 to 52,500, 100 into 100. So like that we have got the total amount. Okay, so here we have used the connected lookup. Connected lookup we already discussed, the same as the last class, right? Now the same mapping will create for the unconnected lookup transformation. Got it? So same we can use, by using unconnected lookup transformation. Same source, same target table I will use, and I will create a mapping directly because we will be using the same source, same target tables. Right click. So we no need to import again. So we'll be using the same source, same target table, and we'll create a mapping for the unconnected. Go to the menu mappings, create m underscore. Okay, so price rate unconnected lookup source to target. Okay, so like that we'll give some name and then click on OK. Price we have to drag and drop. Target to select and target, drag and drop. Okay, so after that what we have to do is the way how we have created a rate lookup in the previous mapping, the same way we have to create a lookup. Go to the menu transformation, create, and then we have to select the lookup or LKP rate lookup, create, and that since it is not there in our source and target, directly we have to import that. Select the rate, click on OK, done. So rate lookup has created. Till here, you know, right? Any questions? Got it, right? So till here, the same as previous mapping. Okay. So now after that, what we have to do? What is the next step? Generally, what do we do after creating the lookup transformation?
Connect the ports from source here to lookup table.
Yeah, right. So we have to use we have to copy the joining port, right? Okay, select the joining port, which is CCD, and drag and drop to the lookup transformation. So after creating the lookup transformation, we have to copy the joining port from source qualifier to the lookup transformation. This is our joining column, right? So if you drag and drop, the link will be created. Now, is this connected or unconnected lookup?
It's a connected lookup.
So it's a connected lookup, right? Okay, so it's a connected lookup. Okay, so but I want to create this as an unconnected lookup. Now I want to make this as unconnected. For that, what do we have to do? Got it. So after drag and dropping the joining column to make this lookup as unconnected, so we have to select the link and press delete button. The link will be deleted, but still that the port will be there, right? The port will be there. Got it. So port will not be deleted. Okay, next what we have to do? Open the lookup transformation, edit. Go to the condition tab. We have to add the join condition. CCD equal to CCD1. Apply. Okay. Okay, so I repeat, to make the lookup as unconnected, so we have to create a lookup transformation and then copy the joining port from source qualifier to the lookup transformation. After copying the joining port, okay, so after copying the joining port, then after copying the joining port, you have to select the link and press delete button so that the link will be deleted. Okay, but still that joining column, whatever we have tagged up, that will be there, and then we have to add the join condition. Fine. Okay, so now this is unconnected lookup transformation. So for this lookup transformation, how we are going to pass the input value if there is no link? How this unconnected lookup transformation is going to receive the input value? So to pass the input value to the unconnected lookup transformation, what we have to do is we have to create an expression transformation. Go to the menu, transformation, create, exp, create, done. Okay, so we have created the expression transformation. Select all the ports from the source qualifier. Select all, copy, drag and drop to the expression transformation. Now open the expression transformation. Okay, go to the ports tab, and here we have to create a new port. Okay, so this port name I will give rate underscore v. So and then this will have the rate. It is not a string, it's a double. Okay, and then v checkbox we have to enable, variable port we have to create. I repeat, to pass the input value to the unconnected lookup transformation, in expression transformation we have to create a variable port. So to create a variable port, we have to create a new port and name that one, make sure the data type, and then v checkbox we have to enable, and then here click on this down arrow. I will tell you later why I have given the port name as rate underscore vo. So for now, you just have to create a variable port v checkbox you have to enable, and then click on this down arrow. Here you have to write, okay, colon, you have to write colon lkp dot. So what do you have to write here? To pass the input value to the unconnected lookup transformation, colon lkp dot, what is the lookup transformation name here? Or lkp, right? So whatever the name we have given to the unconnected lookup transformation, that name we have to give, or lkp. So this is common for any unconnected lookup transformation. First you have to write colon lkp and then dot or the unconnected lookup transformation name, whatever the name here we have given to the unconnected lookup transformation, that name we have to write, and then open brackets and close brackets. So here we have to write what is the input value we have to pass to this unconnected lookup transformation. Is it ccd or rate? Which value we have to pass to this unconnected? Which one we have to pass input value to the unconnected? What is the input value we have to pass to the unconnected?
We have to pass the rate value.
Input value. What is the input value we have to pass to this unconnected? What is the input port you have here?
CCD, sir.
CCD. We have to pass the currency code, right? So we have to pass the currency code as an input value. In the previous also, here also we have passed the CCD as an input value, and we are getting the output value as rate. So but we are passing the input value as CCD. So that's the reason we have to select and CCD double click, right? So we will get like this. So this is how we have to, this is how we have to write a logic inside the lookup transformation. Got it? Clear, right? So this is how we have to pass the input value. Okay, fine then. So validate, click on OK. So Whenever this is also another interview question, they will ask me how you will pass the input value to the unconnected lookup transformation. You have to say to pass the input value to the unconnected lookup transformation. We have tried. We have to create a variable port in expression transformation. There we have tried colon LKP dot and then unconnected lookup transformation name of the input port name. Okay, got it, right? Okay, so this is how we have to pass. So apply. Okay, so assume with this we have created mapping session workflow everything. As soon as we start execution of this mapping, first unconnected lookup transformation will create a static cache with these two records, right? Because we have created the lookup on the rate, and it will create a static cache with these two records. After creating the static cache from the source, it will read the first record, $1.50. So $1.50 first is passed to the expression transformation. Now expression transformation received $1.50. As soon as it receives, it will pass that value to the here rate underscore v variable port we have created right just now. So there we have written colon LKP dot RLKP. RLKP means unconnected lookup transformation name of CCD. What is the CCD value we have received here? Dollar. So that is the dollar. It will pass to this unconnected lookup statement. Whatever here we have written to this, it will pass that CCD value. What is the CCD value we have received here? Okay, CCD value for the first record we have dollar. So as soon as this colon LKP statement or a function, we can also call it as a function, colon LKP dot function, whatever the value it has received. Okay, as soon as it receives the value, it will start searching for this unconnected lookup transformation in the mapping. So do we have RLKP transformation in the mapping? Yes, here we have. Okay, so to this unconnected lookup transformation, whatever the input value dollar it has received, so to this input port, it will send the dollar. Even though there is no link, it will pass the input value to the dollar as a dollar. I repeat, as soon as we start execution of this mapping, first unconnected lookup transformation will create a static cache with two records. After creating the static cache, reader from the source, it will read the first record and it will pass to the expression transformation. Now expression transformation received the first record $1.50. As soon as it receives the values, expression transformation, it will pass that value to the variable port. So we created the variable port rate underscore v. Inside that we have written a colon LKP dot function. Okay, so inside that function we have passed the input column name as CCD. That CCD value from the source for the first record we have received as a dollar. Okay, so as soon as that colon LKP dot function received the input value, it will start searching for the unconnected lookup transformation in the mapping. So here the unconnected lookup transformation name is RLKP, right? So RLKP is the unconnected lookup transformation. To that unconnected lookup transformation, it will pass the dollar as a input value, right? So now the unconnected lookup transformation, even though there is no link, so this will take care to pass the input value to the input port. So we have only one input port, right? So you can see input arrow we have here, right? So to this input port, whatever the variable port there we have written the logic, that will take care to pass the input value to the unconnected lookup transformation. Even though there is no link, this variable port function, this colon LKP dot function, this will take care to pass the input value to the unconnected lookup transformation. That's how unconnected lookup transformation will get the input value from the expression transformation variable port. Got it now? How unconnected lookup transformation will receive the input value? So unconnected lookup transformation will receive the input value from the variable port which we have created inside the expression transformation. Inside that variable port, we have created colon LKP dot unconnected lookup transformation name of input port name. So if you write like that, then it will pass the input value. Got it? So like that, it will pass the input value to the unconnected lookup transformation. As soon as unconnected lookup transformation receives the input value, it will start looking for the matching value inside the static cache. So do we have the matching value here? Yes, it's the matching value dollar. As soon as the dollar found, it will return the corresponding column value. We know if there is a matching value found, then the lookup transformation will have the corresponding column values rate. Now we have the rate here. Okay, so if you drag and drop the rate from lookup transformation to the expression transformation, it is going to be connected lookup, right? But I don't want this lookup to be created as connected. Okay, got it. I don't want this lookup to be as I don't want this lookup to be created as connected. I want to make this as unconnected. So I want this rate from unconnected lookup transformation to the expression transformation. So for that, what we have to do is we need rate, right? We need this lookup transformation should return the return value as a rate. So for that, open the lookup transformation, go to the ports tab. Here we have different types of ports. Out of this, we have return port here, or checkbox we have here, right? So or means return. Okay, which value we need to return from this unconnected lookup transformation? A rate value. We need rate. So if you say enable this checkbox, rate checkbox as a return value, now this unconnected lookup transformation knows that okay, so it should have to return the return value for this rate column. Okay, now it knows that it should have to return the return value as for the rate, right? Okay, so to where it will return the return value. So we have enabled the return checkbox for the rate. To where it will return this value 50 means whatever the variable port here we have created, to the same variable port it will return the return value. Now this variable port, it will also receive the return value from the unconnected lookup transformation. Even though there are no links from lookup transformation to the expression transformation, this rate underscore v variable port, inside that whatever the function we have written colon lkp dot, that function will take care to pass the input value to the unconnected lookup transformation and also to get the output value from the unconnected lookup transformation. That 50 finally this rate underscore v will have the 50. This variable port will receive the 50 from the unconnected lookup transformation. Since finally it is going to receive the rate, that is the reason I have given the column name as rate. And since it's a variable port, at the end we should have to give underscore v. Okay, so this is important point, remember. So colon lkp dot function in expression transformation will pass the input value to the unconnected lookup transformation, and also it will receive the output value from the unconnected lookup transformation. What output value receive means whichever the port we have enabled the return checkbox inside the unconnected lookup transformation, that port value this variable port will receive in expression transformation. Finally, this rate underscore v will have the rate from unconnected lookup transformation. Okay, so rate underscore v will have the rate. So if we have the rate in rate underscore v, then we have the quantity here, so we can calculate the total amount. Create another port for total amount underscore o, and this is not a string, this is also a double, and disable the input checkbox. And then here you have tried. Okay, go to the port tab and quantity into rate underscore b, right? So like that we have to write. So if write like this will calculate the total amount. Okay, click on OK, apply, okay. So as soon as we click on apply, okay, so we have got the total amount here. So from this PID CCD quantity we can select, we can connect it to the target definition, and then total amount we can connect the total amount to the total amount. Okay, and how about rate? So we have created the rate underscore v here, right? But here you can see there are total 5 ports are there. But if I click on OK, how many ports you can see here? Do we have 5 ports or 4 ports? We have only 4. Why we have only 4? Where is that rate underscore v? So rate underscore v is a variable port. So as soon as we enable the v checkbox, automatically both input and output will be disabled. So that means variable port will not receive the data from previous transformation, and also we cannot give the link from variable port to the next transformation. So that is the reason it will not be displayed in expression transformation. Okay, so variable port only we can see if you open the expression, and then if you go to the ports tab, there only we can see the variable ports. As soon as we enable the V checkbox, automatically input and output will be disabled. We cannot connect from previous transformation to the variable port, and also we cannot give the link from variable port to the next transformation. So that is the reason it will not be displayed. And here we have created the variable port in expression to pass the input value to the unconnected lookup transformation. For that we have written :lkp dot unconnected lookup transformation name of input port name we have written, and that will take care to pass the input value, and also that will receive the input value output value from the unconnected lookup transformation. That's it. So now since on variable port we cannot give the link from expression transformation to the target, right? But in target we have the rate column here. I want to load the rate also here. Then how we can load the rate? So rate underscore v, we do not have an expression transformation here to give the link from rate underscore v to rate. Okay. So then how we are going to load the rate here? So for that what we have to do, we have to create one more port, rate underscore go. Output port you have to create, disable the input checkbox. Here in output port expression you have to pass rate underscore v, right? So simply rate underscore v you have to write like this. If you write, okay, so what it will do, whatever the rate underscore v 50 we have got, that it will pass here, and so rate underscore v value it will pass to the rate underscore vo output port. Apply. Okay, since it's output port, now we have here, so that one we can connect like this. This is how, if we are not going to connect the variable port value, so that variable port we can give like this to the output port. So from output port we can connect to the target definition. That's it. With this we have created the mapping. This is how we can use the unconnected lookup transformation, okay, in a mapping to pass the input value and to get the output value from the unconnected lookup transformation, and then save. Okay, so with this we have created the mapping. So for this mapping we'll create a session task workflow, and then we'll execute. So right click, clear all, create a session task, yes underscore mapping name. So the mapping we can select unconnected, right? So this is the mapping. Click on OK, done, and then workflows designer wf underscore, then and then we have to drag and drop the session task. This is the session task, link task, save, right? So and before we start execute, because since I have used the same source and the same target tables for this mapping also, already there are 2 records in our target table. Okay, so I don't want to have those 2 records. So that's the reason we can enable the truncate target table option, so that the previous run records will be deleted, and then this latest run data will be loaded into the target. Apply. Okay, save. Right click, start workflow. As soon as we start execution of this workflow, so if you select this one, you can see the statistics here. It is running, it got succeeded. Okay, got it. Here, so you can see here in the target table, we'll have the same 2 records. So even though the lookup transformation is not connected, we can able to use that unconnected lookup transformation. We have got the same output, 50 into 52,500, 100 into 100. So like that. So here in this mapping, we have used unconnected lookup transformation. Even this lookup transformation is not connected from any other transformation. Through expression, we have passed the input value, and to that expression transformation, we have received the output value also from the unconnected lookup transformation. That's it. So now we know the difference between what is connected lookup and what is unconnected lookup. We know how to use the connected lookup, and we know how to pass the input value to the connected lookup, and we know how to pass the input value to the unconnected lookup transformation. In the same way, we know how to get the output value from the connected lookup as well as unconnected lookup transformation. Got it? So using the connected and unconnected, now we have learned. Next. So next we should know when we have to use, in which scenario we have to use the connected lookup transformation and in which scenario we have to use unconnected lookup transformation in the mapping. What is the difference? When do we have to use the connected lookup and when do we have to use unconnected lookup transformation in the mapping? That we will discuss. Okay, now here if you see, go to the ports tab. Okay, and so here we are enabling the return checkbox, right, for the rate. Suppose let's say I want this unconnected lookup transformation to return the multiple output values. I want this unconnected lookup transformation to return the multiple output values. So for that we have to enable the multiple checkboxes here. Suppose let's say I want this ECD also from the unconnected lookup transformation. So for that, if I enable the CCD checkbox, you can see automatically rate got disabled. If I enable the rate, automatically CCD will get disabled, right? So that means, tell me at a time how many we can enable here? Can we enable 2 checkboxes at a time here in the unconnected lookup transformation for the return value? Can we
No, sir.
enable 2 checkboxes at a time here? No. So that means unconnected lookup transformation will return how many output values at a time?
Single value.
Right. So unconnected lookup transformation, always it returns a single output value. Okay, it returns a single return value. Okay, so if we try to enable the other port return checkbox, then automatically the previous one get disabled. So that means unconnected lookup transformation we can use whenever we have a requirement from the lookup transformation. If we are returning the single output value, then definitely in the mapping, instead of creating the connected lookup for the single output, we can use unconnected lookup transformation. In such scenario, we can use this, the first difference. So first difference actually, we have to say connected lookup if the lookup transformation is connected from any other transformation, that is connected lookup. If the lookup transformation is not connected from any other transformation, that is unconnected. This is the first difference which you have to tell. And the second difference, unconnected lookup transformation will return the single output value or a single return value. As soon as we enable the other checkbox, automatically the previous one get disabled. Whereas connected lookup can return the multiple output values. This is the second difference. Okay, now here, tell me, in our previous scenario, in this scenario, to perform the STD type 1, so in place of this lookup transformation, here is this, which type of lookup is this? What lookup we have created here? Is this connected or unconnected?
Connected lookup transformation.
This is connected lookup because there are links here, right? Okay, so in place of this connected lookup, can we use unconnected lookup here? In this place, can we use unconnected lookup here?
No, sir, since we have to pass E number and address also, 2 ports we have to pass.
Exactly, right? Okay, so if you use unconnected lookup here, that unconnected lookup will return the single output value. But we need this employee number and address, multiple column values we need from this lookup transformation in this scenario. Employee number and address. So can we enable employee number and address to return ports at a time? No, right? So that is the reason. So if you want more than one output value to return from lookup transformation, then in that case definitely we have to go for connected lookup. If you want single output value to be returned from the lookup transformation, then definitely we have to go for unconnected lookup transformation. This is our second difference. Got it? So if you want to return multiple output values from the lookup transformation, then definitely we have to create a connected lookup transformation. Okay, so in the same way, if you want to return a single output value from the lookup transformation, then we have to use unconnected lookup transformation. That's the second difference. Third difference we'll discuss in the next class. Okay, so before discussing the third difference, we have one more scenario in the lookup transformation. We have one more type of cache. So we discussed static cache and dynamic cache. We have another type of cache in the lookup, which is called persistent cache. Okay, so in the next class, we'll discuss about the persistence cache, and in that only we will get the third difference between connected and unconnected lookup transformation. Okay, so those three differences we should have to explain in interview. That's 100% interview question. Okay, that's it. So that's all for the day. We'll stop here today and then we'll continue tomorrow. Today you practice this connected and unconnected lookup transformation scenario, these two mappings. In the next class, we'll discuss about the persistence cache and then we will start the flat files. So tomorrow, after persistence cache, we'll also see how we can extract the data from the file, transform and load into a table. That scenario also we'll discuss in the next class. That's it. So that's all for the day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.